Hey guys, welcome to another video. We are making our way back to the tennis court because apparently that's the only place I record videos. Uh, Today's shoutouts would be for Shonen Showdown, I think that's the name, uh, and Tekken 101. Both incredibly unbiased, but just good YouTubers. Shonen Showdown would be the most unbiased YouTuber I ever seen. Like the amount of unbiasedness and whenever he talk about like anime is outstanding, especially for anime people. But yeah, both amazing YouTubers. But today I'm starting a new series. I might actually start putting these series in a playlist. But but this series will be called The Wise Anime or something like that. Basically, I'm just gonna be like I'm gonna talk about anime and like when you look at something realistically, or like when you think about something from like outside the character perspective, or how the like series may fall apart, or may just seem like, ooh, what the heck. Um, so yeah, for the first part of this episode, I want to do Jesus Christ sound like someone mowing a lawn. Like, do you see that? There's no one there, and it's only someone mowing a lawn, like right next to me. I mean, yeah, where's my shoelace? I don't tie these shoes. But for today, I wanted to do at least for this first half is my hero. To start off, I would like to when I do these videos, I like to praise the series first before I go on a tangent about it. Found out where they are in the middle of the street. But I'm sorry. I like to praise the series first. So, My Hero, amazing series altogether. Great characters, went out. My favorite anime. Actually, I think it was my first anime that I realized it was an actual anime. But amazing series, amazing main character and characters. Uh, a manga especially. If there is one thing that I definitely like over most, is how good the filler are. I know some anime have amazing filler, like Blue Exorcist. I think like the part spoiler warning for anything I talk about in this video. But I think Blue Exorcist like the final half of the anime is filler. But no, I mean like I just but I think that's good. But I mean like especially the one with the camera dude, their filler in the anime is amazing and not too long. And also their anime movies. I know for a fact that the first movie is canon because they reference it in the manga. But I think the second one also canon. But majority of the anime movies and whatnot foreshadow what's gonna happen next within the anime and whatnot. And like, take for instance, the main thing about the first movie was quirk amplification devices, and then what we get in the next season, muscular, or at least in a timeline perspective. But great series. Now let's go to I know people talk about this a lot, but I want to do it too. Let's talk about the biggest like plot hole or like biggest like if they didn't fully realize this series would be over soon for it, and it would be Deku, and more specifically Deku Notebook. Now right off the bat, I like to it's Deku Notebook. Sorry for repeating myself. I had to press pause, but I want to defend Deku real quick because from his because I know that he does come on stupid because he doesn't like use his knowledge of quirks on himself until like the manga. But like you think about it, the book was more specifically for like heroes and from like how would these would be awesome for the heroes and whatnot, and taking a look at himself. I'm like taking a look at other people, right? Like how I can analyze the those people blowing the streets, um, right, for money, but I won't apply it to myself. Uh, but also because his nature probably doesn't help, because he naturally like doesn't care about himself. Probably suicidal. But doesn't really care for himself anyways. So it's kind of like, well, I'm focused on saving other people and other people. So I didn't really think about myself until a manga was like, yeah, no, I'm kind of forced to think about myself because I'm all by myself. Considering the fact that no one can keep up with me. And by the way, I think that's a cool scene where they get Deku back. But like, they don't disprove Deku's point of being a vigilante and staying away from them. Because the major reason was like, y'all cannot keep up with me. Y'all can't keep up with these hands. Y'all gonna die if I'm right with y'all, right? Or y'all try to be with me. And when you see the fact that he, it's hard to tell, but I don't think he was using his quirk for a majority of that fight. Seeing the fact that like he was being taught, like he didn't really hit anyone. I think I like the animation. I don't know if you've seen this, but it was like a cool TikTok where like Deku whooping them without using their quirks. I mean his quirk, but like for the majority of the fight, he's trying to run away, and they still couldn't catch up. Like barely managed to get him. So yeah, they're like maybe y'all didn't prove that point. But back on topic. Um, so that's really so Deku Manga book is a book about, I'm gonna say villains too, because he knew like when you look at like the fight with Muscular and like other villains, he kind of like instantly knows what their quirks are. So I wouldn't be surprised if you have notes on them, or like can just generally because of his notebook just knows it stuff. But you have a book about all the heroes' quirks, their weakness, and their suit too, and like their weakness and their strength, and like how they could use their quirks and different strategies, and whatnot. And even though they don't really like showing it, uh, they apply that Deku can do this to a point where someone like Uraraka, who have a simple quirk and weaker than Bakugo's, well, I would say stronger, but like, sorry for my finger being in the way, but like we see Bakugo be here and whatnot, and also like he can master Deku, so I'm gonna say her quirk weaker, but who have a weaker quirk could beat Bakugo. Now we don't see this plan pull through, right? Because she declines it, but we are supposed to believe that like, yeah, no, he could do this. They also have notes about his classmates and whatnot, but and if people look at this book and based on that information alone, many people, especially when they're doing villain web, point to the fact like he would be the worst villain to deal with, and that's accurate because he would know all the hero weakness and whatnot. But I think the overlooking fact is that like he also know their strength, their weakness, and how they could improve on it, right? So even if you take this, make it 100% the canon storyline, right? But then you realize like they like actually think about the book, which they did bring up, which is weird because they bring it up how good he is taking notes in like his hero books, but no one like try like, hey, can I read it? Nope. But it yeah, at times. But no, so if people actually read the book, they would know their weakness and how to improve their quirk and whatnot, which will help them grow even stronger versus having to think about it and figure it out themselves. And also because like they come up with new strategies. Because once again, Midoriya is supposed to be like a strategy genius, and we do see that he's a genius aligned with Momo, who have a million and one different resources. And remember, the atomical structure and multiple things at the age of 15, all the way up to the age of 15, ranging from cannons to flashbangs, and she rich. So Midoriya, whose smartness is comparable to her, and in every way, probably even higher than her, quite frankly. Um, but and who can write down notes from any range of stuff. You would think that if you look at his notebook, it'd be very, very easy to understand and to like, okay, how do I put my quirk? Boom, that could have that written down, allowing 1A to like, you see how to train for it, but like it will allow them to have like a better understanding of the quirk and just skywalking in power. Which is another thing I don't get is when Deku left a thing, you would think that at least someone went inside his room and where I saw the notebooks, but nope, none of them read it. But also, let's switch to like the most common perspective when this argument comes up. Uh, Villains. And right off the bat, I would say that if he did become a villain, I think it would be less of Midoriya being like, especially when people make him work with One for All. I think it'd be less of Midoriya actually on the main front and be on the sidelines. But like, if he was working with One for All, that book would be absolutely used the heck out of. Being that he had the weakness of every villain, hero, and probably villain too. All four would definitely be able to like, okay, counter, 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 and know what court to look for. And then probably give it to Deku. He would probably turn out to be more like, if not a like Shigaraki type Nomu, a Nomu, but like a more constant, but like either Shigaraki type or a Kurogiri type Nomu. But that's pretty much all I have to say. I don't know why I made this video, to be honest. But I got like 4 more minutes spare. So let's talk about something else. Give me a second. I think another series that also go with this is Black Clover. I mean, not Black Clover. It's Solo Leveling. Now, this is a little speculative, but based off of Sun Jin Woo character and whatnot, um, it's very, very surprising that he didn't buy more stuff. Like, imagine how much easier it would have been if he would have just, like, I know that they kind of explained this within the series, being like, the artifacts that you get from the dungeons or the custom dungeons are so much better than the one that he could buy, that they're kind of invalid. But I'm not even just talking about, like, just buying them from, like, the real world. I'm talking about, like, in-game purchases in his thing. If he would have bought some more items, he definitely would have had a lot easier time on this during out the series. Especially because we know, like, they have items that is unnecessarily custom, right? Like, they look, like, some of the items that they have look like they was literally planned out for him specifically. Like, I know they had weapons of every category, but, like, they had different, like, the knife or something like that? Where it was look like it was literally customized or seemed customized for the dungeon that he was doing, or for the class job he was doing. Yeah, that's like, well, if we had a good item like that that lasts a long period of time, which by the way I think is funny, that Rocket Blade stuff, something that isn't as, also I'm talking about the webtoons, that isn't as important as the thing, the knife blade is somehow used more than it, despite the knife blade doing more damage to armor stuff, and like pretty much everyone in the series with some type of armor. And even before we get late in the series, majority of the enemies that he will fight, like the opponent enemies, was already immune to it. So I think it's just hilarious. But like, there could have been so many other better items, and also I don't think they ever like, he don't ever try to force different stuff. Now, once again, this is more speculative because they could have all just been dookie after that point, but they could have definitely been better. And another thing is, he didn't really equip out any other like of his army with better equipment. besides Icarus and I forgot his name. I think it's Tusk. Are like the only two in his army that he actively quit. But time's running out. So with that being said, bye.